Alright, today we're having a look at Revolver by the Sprawl. Alright, so here we are in Revolver by the Sprawl, and truth in advertising, just as a heads up, I did see a little bit of this on Dez's, Little Big Dez's live stream, so I've got a bit of an idea of what's going on here. We had a nice title screen and telling us it's a kind of a proof of concept and a work in progress at the moment, so it's not going to be completely 100% finished. Basically, we're going around this tower, and we've got to collect these batteries that you can see showing up in the lower left bit there. I don't remember what we do with the batteries. Now, it seems like there's a bit of a weird hitbox with these elevators that we've got to be right on the center of the elevator to get it to kind of work. So, and we do overshoot things a lot. The control here is with the D-pad, not with the D-stick. And each time you push it, you get kind of a bit of a dash forward like that. So it's not purely if you're holding it, you're moving, and if you stop holding it, that you stop moving immediately. So that is a little bit of a thing. So we're getting these batteries, but buggery, not what I wanted to do. Oh, I hope I didn't stitch everything up. Did I? I hope I didn't stitch everything up, because that elevator's not coming back up again. All right, we can do this, right? Get back around to the... Oh, crumbs! Like... Did we break it? Oh no. No, that's a problem. Well, can we go here? Maybe this will help us unlock something? Alright. Reset lifts. Yes, that's what we need to do. Yosh. I'm glad that they have a way to save the level from being bricked. I do appreciate that an awful lot. Because otherwise we would have been kind of screwed. But yeah, so basically we're just exploring this, and I think a lot of it is just showing off how the level's been designed and how it's being presented. And I love the rotation effect that's going on here. I think it's really cool and really well done. So, but I wish the hitbox on these lifts was a little bit wider, just a little bit. Come here, come. I'm on the. I don't want to run off the lift. Can I? What? Wait, hold on. Can I not? Why am I not moving off the lift? I'm stuck. Oh, for real? For real? Oh, crumbs. It's not a jump. Press X only if you get stuck on a lift or something else. Okay, that's good. It would have been nice if they told us that earlier. And I don't know why it's not setting me to the center. There we go. Excellent. I was a little bit worried that we'd kind of gotten ourselves screw-diddly-ooed there. But luckily, that appears to not be the case. Now let's move along. Sing a song, feel the fizz, as it were. If that's what you're into. I mean, I'm not gonna judge anyone if they do or do not want to feel the fizz. Oh, did we stuff something up? That goes down, so we don't need that. We need to go up. And it's actually a little bit tricky to figure out where it is that they want us to be exactly. But maybe that's just me. We did talk about in Cubics how I've got a little bit of a difficulty with spatial memory. And I do think that the spatial memory comes in handy in a setting like this. But I am really enjoying the movement. I'm really enjoying how you kind of progress through the creation here. I need to get over to that. Will this take me? Yes. Excellent. I wasn't sure if they would give us a straight direct drop, which would have been a problem, or if they were going to give us an angle drop, which they did, which is thankful. We've only got 1:06 left. What? Have we gotten all the batteries, I wonder? I'm not sure. What's on that other spot there? It looks like, no. So it moves when I don't want it to move. And there's a battery. Lovely. Now, where do we go from here? We're in the center. We may need to reset the lifts, but I forget how to do that. Only 32 seconds. Come on, Isco. We can do this. Wait, what? Oh, I guess we're close enough to the hitbox of that. Excuse me? I don't think that's what we wanted to do exactly. And now we can't get out. Oh bugger. Okay, that's a wee bit of a problem. That is a wee bit of a problem. Wait. Can we transfer the battery at least? Oh, crumbs. Well, we got to talk about this back to the hub. We'll see you there. See yas. And we're back. And, Revolver by the Sprawl. And I think it's a solid on, for the most part, yellow square. It's got issues, but the Sprawl tells us that it is more of a proof of concept, more of a work in progress, kind of playing around with the engine and seeing how things can be done. So I think that some of these issues can mostly be forgiven because they are relatively minor issues, to be perfectly honest. But to start on the positive sides of things, and I really loved the environmental design. And I love the way that the camera treated that environmental design. The rotation was very, very smooth throughout, and you could kind of piece out in your head, even myself, you know, the second time I played through it, even myself not being so great with spatial concept, was able to kind of piece out how these different platforms were going to be fitting together and how I needed to move to be able to get to certain platforms to progress the level on. And all of that was really, really cool. I also love the creature design. I thought the creature design, one, it looked really nice. Two, it had a very nice sense of movement, the kind of clipping along with the little spidery legs there. I thought that was really well animated, really well done. A very small point, but a very cool point that I noticed. Now, I didn't notice during the video, but while I was playing for Pips, that as you pick up those batteries, and I mentioned in the video, you can see that reflected in the kind of pop-up on the lower left-hand side. But it's also reflected on your little robot itself. You can see those batteries plugging into the actual character model. It's a very small detail, but it's a very cool detail. And when those batteries are removed, when you put them in the transfer pod, that they are actually removed from the character model. I thought that was really great. I love it when games reflect what's happening to the character on the model themselves. It's one of the reasons why I like Isaac so much, because almost all the items have some kind of cosmetic effect as well as just having an actual gameplay effect. So that was really, really nice. There is a second section beyond what we were able to get to in the video, and that also is very nicely designed. It's very nicely presented. It's all around pretty cool. So I did say that there were some issues with the level, and there are definitely some issues with the level. One of them is just simply how your robot creature moves, that it seems like it's kind of dashing forward each time that you tap on the D-pad, either to the left or to the right, which most of the time when you're kind of running on a flat plane, or you're just running straight ahead, so to speak, that it's not really noticeable and it's not really a problem. But when you have to do things like get on the elevators, and those elevators have a relatively precise hit box to actually make the elevator trigger, that getting your creature onto that exact point can be a little bit tough. You got to run back and forth a little bit to actually get it there. So that was a little bit annoying, and there were times that I accidentally ran myself off the edges of things because I thought I would be stopping sooner than I was going to be stopping. So that was a little bit of an issue. Another one that I noticed, that so you've got those different pods, and in the first section we saw the one that's on the bottom, and we see the one that's on the kind of the top area there. They look exactly alike, and so I thought initially that their function was exactly alike. It didn't necessarily matter which one that you were going to, but the bottom pod is a recharging station and a reset the elevator station. The top pod is a transfer station so that you can make more elevators come down and open up more areas of the game, or the next area of the game, so to speak. So that I think it would have been better to have those two pods to have at least a slightly different look to them, so that the player would immediately know that they're not serving the same function. So that is one thing that kind of stood out to me. In the second section as well, it's a little bit wonky because, for one thing, it seems like a number of batteries that you simply can't get to. You're able to finish the actual creation without those batteries, so I guess it's not important, but to have a game element that is in a place that is inaccessible to the players, I think will cause a lot of confusion in players, that they feel like they should be able to get there, and they will need to be able to get there, and they'll probably hold back their own progress trying to get to places where they're not supposed to be. If you really want to put something, in an out-of-the-way place just to break up the visual scene a little bit, to give a little bit more character or depth to the visual scene, then maybe just a purely decorative item as opposed to something that has gameplay effect would be a good idea. As well, there are a number of pods in that area that they just don't do anything. They're just there, At first I thought it was because I was approaching them from the wrong side, but it seems like they're they're simply decoration. So again, you've got these gameplay elements, or elements that do things in gameplay in other sections, but now are acting as decorations, and they become a source of confusion. The last kind of point there was, you'll open up. It almost looks like a subway car, and it's really nice the way that it opens up. And there's a battery in there. You'll get the battery, and there's a trigger in there, and you hit the trigger, and it says, you get more confident with each success. Now you can perform a leap of faith. They don't tell you what the leap of faith is supposed to mean. I tried to kind of jump over areas that I hadn't been able to jump over because there's no bridges connecting them. It didn't do that. Eventually, but what the leap of faith does is you've got to go up to the very top of the tower, and you just kind of hold over to the center of the tower, and it'll hop you over to that. But there's nothing to indicate what that ability is supposed to be for the player. So I found that a little bit weird and a little bit confusing, and it was mostly just throwing things against the wall and see what would stick before I finally triggered this kind of final section there. So that could have maybe been a little bit better explained, or maybe shifting the camera up a little bit to point at that area that you're supposed to be going to indicate to the player that, okay, this is where this ability is going to be used. One thing that was a positive that I should have mentioned, and I forgot, that there are ways to get out of bricking the level. That would be the bottom pod in the very first section to reset the elevators. So it is possible, but it's not easy to brick the level. But one of the possible ways that you can brick it, which was kind of funny, I was moving on a moving elevator. I was walking on a moving elevator, and I started walking too soon, and I ended up getting crushed between the elevator and the next platform, and it threw the character out of bounds, and they were sitting to the side of the actual play field, the play area, with no way to interact and no way to get back. It's just kind of sitting there in the void, so to speak. The cloudy void, but a void nonetheless. When I went to exit out of the level and continue back in the level, kind of hoping that there would be an autosave that would keep my progress. In fact, there is not an autosave that keeps the progress. Had to start the entire level over again from scratch. It's not a big issue, because I think you have to try to break the level like that, but it is breakable in that way, so do be careful. The Sprawl mentioned on the level select page, I think it was, that they are looking for people to join them to work on different projects, and they seem to have a fair amount of skill as a creator. This entire level was just made by them. There's nobody else in the full credits, so they've got some creative juice behind them. But if you feel that you might be able to work with them to create something larger and even better, then by all means contact the Sprawl and see if there's something that you can do. But I really like this one. I did. It's not a very long level. Once you know what you're doing, it takes about... Camera, thank you. It takes about 4.5 to 5 minutes to play and to beat, and I don't think that's very much time to devote to something that looks as nice as this and plays as nice as this. So, by all means, if you haven't yet, give Revolver a shot. I think it's great, and I wish the Sprawl the best of luck in the next sets of creations that they do. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on them. So, thank you, the Sprawl. I appreciate it. But I think that pretty much wraps it up for us here this go about. So, from me, Risco, here in Osaka, to all of you out there, wherever you may happen to be, thank you, arigato, sayonara, see you, and ciao.